murder has been committed, but this is no ordinary murder. The killer not only hides the truth but changes the truth itself. He cleverly places details that everyone overlooks, even deceiving you. But if you look closely, all the clues are right before your eyes. Now, I will tell you the story. Will you be able to find out who the killer is? All the suspects are far apart, but somehow, they are all connected. One of the most famous psychologists in town, Dr. Dean Dawson, is found dead in his office one morning. Dr. Dawson was a smart and successful therapist with connections to all the important people in the city. However, one morning, his office door is found wide open. Dr. Dawson's body lies on the floor, bloodied from a heavy blow to the head in a room filled with a large desk and bookshelves. What is strange, however, is that there are no signs of a struggle in Dr. Dawson's death. The person who finds the body is Kane, a young woman and former patient of Dr. Dawson. Catherine notices that aside from a piece of paper and a broken pencil, nothing in the room has been disturbed. The police arrive at the scene immediately and conduct their first examination. The room has remained almost untouched since the murder, but one thing stands out: a burnt piece of paper in the corner with only a few words legible on a note. Kane, Dr. Dawson's former patient. She is receiving treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder and has a quiet, introverted personality. On the morning of the murder, she frequently visits the office due to her dependency on Dr. Dawson. However, that morning, she claims not to remember the terrible trauma she experienced. Edwin Roth, Dr. Dawson's colleague and rival. Although he's also a therapist, he harbored great jealousy and competition towards Dr. Dawson. According to the security cameras, Edwin is seen leaving the building in a hurried manner at the time of the murder. However, in his statement, he claims he did not visit the office. Jessica Larson, Dr. Dawson's secretary. She is responsible for maintaining order in the office and is known to have had frequent arguments with Dr. Dawson recently. It is revealed that Jessica was deeply shocked by the recent news she received from Dr. Dawson. A recent conversation Jessica had with Dr. Dawson about her potential termination raises suspicions regarding her involvement in the crime. At the time of the murder, only these three people were in the room. There is no exact information on when the event took place, but there are suspicions among the office residents, particularly that Jessica may have had a desire for revenge against Dr. Dawson. On the morning of the murder, the initial examination of Dr. Dean Dawson's office revealed many contradictory clues. The room, with a strange calmness immediately noticed after the murder, seemed almost untouched. However, the details around the desk spoke volumes about the complex nature of the event. 1. Burnt piece of paper. The burnt piece of paper found on the desk contained a note with a few words barely discernible. Truth ... is hidden in the mind. This sentence was directly connected to Dr. Dawson's therapeutic approach towards his clients. Dawson constantly tried to bring out the deep traumas and hidden fears in his clients' minds. This writing suggested an understanding that questioned the connection between truth and the mind. But at the same time, it could also be a clue truth is hidden in the mind. But what was this truth? A murder plan or part of manipulation? 2. Fingerprint on the tea glass. In the right corner of the desk, there was a broken tea glass. The shards around the glass and the spilled tea stains indicated that there had been no struggle. However, only Kane's fingerprints were found on the glass. Catherine was Dr. Dawson's former patient, and it was known that she had visited the clinic on the night of the incident. This fingerprint, which raised many suspicions, created doubts about whether Catherine was actually there. However, Catherine claimed that the broken glass and tea had no relevance to the event and that she had fainted due to the trauma. But this only deepened the suspicion. Did Catherine really faint during the event, or was she consciously there? 3. Broken fountain pen and rolled up paper. Another notable object on the desk was a broken fountain pen. Hidden inside the pen was a small rolled up piece of paper. The paper contained a few lines of writing, but the words were broken and jumbled. Words like mental, control, and lie appeared frequently. This writing, while offering a clue about Dr. Dawson's methods, also hinted at a complex plan forming in the mind of the killer. The fountain pen and paper were items Dr. Dawson used in his daily work. However, the concealment of the writing could have been a form of symbolism or a message. For encrypted file on the computer screen. On Dr. Dawson's computer screen, an encrypted file was open. The file name was striking, Dark Minds. It appeared to contain records about Dr. Dawson's clients. However, the fact that the file was password protected suggested that Dr. Dawson was hiding highly confidential information. Could the deletion or encryption of the file before anyone could access it have been the killer's final move before reaching their goal? Could the file be directly related to the murder? The mysterious file and hidden information might not only conceal Dr. Dawson's professional life but also personal secrets. 5. Jessica's letter and final conversations. A letter was found on Dr. Dawson's desk. The letter was believed to be from Dr. Dawson's secretary, Jessica Larson. The content of the letter revealed that Jessica had been involved in arguments with Dr. Dawson and had learned she would be fired. Jessica was quite uneasy about the compensation and assurances she would receive if she were dismissed. Reading this letter could have angered Jessica and possibly played a triggering role in planning a murder. However, Jessica claimed that on the night of the incident, she had a phone conversation with Dr. Dawson throughout the night. The content of the phone call was still unclear. Could Jessica have turned her anger towards Dr. Dawson into a motive for the murder? 6. Edwin's panic and security camera footage. Dr. Dawson's colleague, Edwin Roth, was known to have been in Dr. Dawson's office late at night. However, footage from the security cameras showed that Edwin left the building in a state of panic shortly before the time of the murder. Edwin's behavior indicated that he was acting with great secrecy. According to the camera recordings, Edwin appeared very uneasy as he left the room. It was unclear whether this was a sense of guilt or something else. Could Edwin's actions have had a purpose beyond his anger, jealousy, and rivalry? Could the murder of Dr. Dawson have been related to his attempt to reach the peak of his career? Or did he have a darker motivation? 7. An old notebook was found right at the corner of Dr. Dawson's desk. According to the examination, this notebook, with pages yellowed and a few more worn out, contained a series of notes. But one handwritten note stood out. Numbers silently turned into letters and letters turned into words. Dawson had always tried to open his clients' minds using complex metaphors. But this note seemed like a key to solving a code. Next to the writing, there were a few more lines written by Dawson, but unfortunately, they were impossible to decipher. To access the encrypted file on the computer screen. In Dr. Dean Dawson's office, there was an open file on the computer screen. The file was named Dark Minds and was password protected. The room seemed to carry a dark secret regarding the statements and evidence of the suspects, but this file was particularly striking. The content on the computer screen was hiding something. This file contained not only notes about Dr. Dawson's professional life, but also the key information behind the entire event. Method for decoding the password. At first glance, the password seemed very complex. However, at the bottom of the screen, there was an error message. The message displayed a code like R51L85 or 5. Eyes immediately focused on this code. But to decode the password, you must first figure out what this code means. Decoding the meaning of the code. The R51L85 or 5 code had not directly been converted into a ciphertext. Clue: Dr. Dawson records important notes and information he doesn't want to forget in the notebook found at the corner of his desk. If you think you've solved the code, scan the QR code. You've heard the story, now it's your turn. Who is the killer? Is it Catherine's dark past, Edwin's jealousy, or Jessica's desire for revenge? Put the clues together and leave your answer in the comments. But be careful. Not everything is as it seems.